Starfield has mission boards. Perhaps not the most exciting fact for an RPG, but it was recently confirmed by a Bethesda employee in some interview, I believe, that content such as bounties are going to be present in Starfield in the form of mission boards to keep players occupied with exciting challenges as they explore the cosmos. I'll be talking about how this could be a good and or bad idea and share some of my perspective, hopefully have interesting conversations with you guys like in the past couple of videos. There's not a whole lot of official info available, of course, so a good part of this video is going to be conjecture, but it's going to be fun conjecture. So according to this Twitter post, or X post, mission boards are apparently making a return in Starfield. The thing is, as far as I know, mission boards were never really a prominent feature in any of the BGS games I've played as of late. Admittedly, I haven't played all the Fallouts and Elder Scrolls out there, but I believe the person who made this post may be referencing a popular Skyrim mod called Missives that sort of overhauls and expands on the Radiant quest system that's already in the game. If I am wrong here, please do let me know down in the comments. And if you're still wondering what the term mission boards means exactly, it's literally a board with missions on it, like a wall of notes and posters tacked on that you could walk up to and maybe pick one with the largest reward, and then be on your way. Think of a Skyrim NPC like Brynjolf, only in the form of a wooden rectangle, or maybe metal or some composite, as I am unsure of how prevalent wood will be as building material in Starfield. So yeah, mission boards, one gameplay feature probably among many others that'll be in the game. What's the big deal? Well, personally, I've played through games where they promise these big worlds to explore with endless content or hundreds of hours worth of stuff to do, only to find that a good chunk of that is just padding and fluff made of repetitive, grindy missions, or milk runs if you will. Kinda like with Dying Light 2, where the devs talked about the game having around 500 hours worth of content, but in reality, it was more like 500 hours worth of running just to get that last trophy that apparently, according to the community, was a mistake they never bothered to fix. And since mission boards don't typically require a dedicated character with a unique script of dialogues and scenes, aka effort, they can be used to sort of fill in the blanks in a large game world where content may be sparse, so to speak. Which Starfield hopefully won't be, but there is a high likelihood for quests designed around this system to feel grindy, like in Red Dead Online, where there are these literal mission boards outside of sheriff's offices with posters of wanted criminals you're told to go after for some reward. While I found those bounties to be a good experience for the most part, especially with friends, it does get to a point where you'll start seeing the same old faces over and over again, like, "How many times do I have to teach you this lesson, ma'am? Stop threatening the public with raw chicken, please." So instead of enjoying the process, you'll end up trying to beat the time because the reward is tied to it, bounties turn into a grind, and all you'll have to show for them in the end is maybe some tacky wraps for your gun. I was that person. With that said, Rockstar did give us the legendary bounties with nice cutscenes that attempted to remediate this by injecting a bit of lore alongside a more engaging mission structure. Those were nice, I guess. Certainly far better than, say, the Responders and Raiders dailies in Fallout 76, where it is pretty much you just repeating a predetermined set of events to watch a bar go up by a few pixels with. The pit missions were especially egregious, where the main reward would only drop once a week, though I believe that has changed since the last time I played. All of it even had NPCs you'd have to talk to before triggering the quests, but void of any personality and speech variety. They're essentially mission boards, just more annoying if you're in a rush, and the missions themselves were basically set on rails. An NPC handing out missions can be fun if they have a good story to tell. Otherwise, it can make the game feel stale and in the worst case scenario, break immersion. For example, let's say in Starfield, right? You decided on a more antagonistic approach to your adventures, building rep as a notorious bandit who, though not liked by everyone, is highly skilled at getting things done. But then you come across a quest line where some NPC asks for your help in guarding or delivering a valuable item to a loved one. You'll be rewarded $5 and 2 radroach skewers for your efforts. This is something I hope is either kept to a minimum or completely non-existent in Starfield. Yeah, it isn't fair to expect fully fleshed out stories for everything in every game, but Bethesda aren't exactly indie. I mean, they've had all of 25 years to write good storylines, right? Let's hope a large part of that wasn't them trying to stop the creation engine from spawning horses in space or something. On the flip side, not all quests need to be fully fleshed out tales of adventure, as not everyone likes to get stuck for an hour on long journeys to uncover the secrets of, I don't know, a vampire cult, when all they may have needed is a sandwich to convince the guard at the post to let them through without a valid ID. One way to do mission boards that won't end up feeling dreadful, I feel, is to perhaps expand on the Radiant quest system that Bethesda has already done in past games. Maybe have it so that NPCs or characters pertaining to those quests are randomly generated and move throughout the world in a non-scripted way, meaning they could be anywhere doing their own thing at any one time, but the end goal is still the same. Less Fallout 76 and more like the Stalker series of games. As far as I'm concerned, there are no mission boards, and almost all interactions in that game with NPCs involve walls of text, but the actual quests and how they play out are incredibly dynamic. I want to emphasize that it's how the quest plays out and not the form it is given to you, whether that be from an NPC or a board, that matters here. The engine in those games keeps track of everything that goes on in the world, regardless of your position, and some of the NPCs almost seem like they have a life of their own. They could be gathering around a fire, shooting at mutant dogs, or there could even be factions fighting somewhere that would alter how friendly or hostile an area could turn out the next time you visit. I can't point towards any other game that's quite like it, and while I'd like to see something similar in Bethesda's upcoming game in terms of quest design and NPC behavior, it may not be feasible to implement such a system in a game as vast as Starfield, while also meeting other expectations for a modern title, especially with regards to performance these days, because I believe a part of why there's so much stuttering in any Stalker game is because of NPCs moving around and spawning in and out of areas. They're not necessarily rendered, but the game engine simulates a bunch of stuff in the background, and that is why reloading the same save point twice doesn't guarantee the guy you met down the road selling vodka for cheap is going to be there again, maybe not even alive. So how do you feel about Starfield and mission boards? Let me know down in the comments, and if you're going to be playing the game on PC, then consider checking out the video on system requirements I made recently that's got a decent amount of views, or perhaps the one on sandwiches and how you could maybe end up using them to rule the galaxies, or not. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good day.